So welcome back to Birmingham. All right. I don't know if everyone knows, but just this month, we had 3 more lawyers leave their offices. 3 more SPDTC lawyers leave their offices. It's not a surprise, right? I mean, you guys are doing the most difficult work in the most difficult places. But as I've talked to some of you who haven't left, but maybe have been considering it, I know one issue is certainly money. But another issue is that it's just too hard. I feel defeated. I think that's what this community is about.
I closed over 500 felonies last year, and I have 165 pending cases right now. They're all felonies, and I cannot be an effective attorney at those numbers.
Without this group, I would have quit a long time ago. Because as you said, it's a hard job, and when you've got nobody that's helping you, and when you've got everybody telling you, you know, you work too much, you should, that are actually ordering me out the door and ordering me not to work the hours that I work.
The summer after I graduated, a young lady by the name of Alice Stamps was like, June, you gotta come work for the Hines County Public Defender's Office. I was like, no, y'all gotta pay me. I got 6 figures in educational debt. What do you say? June, all of that's gonna work out, baby. Don't even trip on it.
There was a case. It was a sex case. And the client was accused of, like, raping his 12-year-old daughter. So I go to talk to him, and I'm expecting him to tell me why he didn't do it and, you know, help me to establish a defense for him. And he starts to tell me how he raped his daughter. And he's proud of it. And I literally had to, like, stop myself from vomiting. Something clicked in me that said, some people are just bad people. Some people just do evil things. That, to me, is not what a public defender should, like, I don't feel like I should think those things about my clients. And I feel like I'm doing them an injustice because I think those things about a lot of them. And I feel like people like Travis, who I respect very, very highly, I look up to Travis, and I feel like I'm letting Travis down in being this person that I've become.
But you know what though, real talk, you can't really look for the same thing to motivate you per client. Like some people are just, every case has a redeeming quality to it. Not every person necessarily. Don't necessarily focus on the folks sometimes, you know? Like it will make you feel good to like do right for people when they right, but shit, I want to do right for people when they're wrong too.
What I've seen from doing it for 15, 16 years is the ones who last at this, they do what Travis is talking about. Sometimes it's just good to fight the system and just be a warrior and just go to war. And they find that balance that helps them get through the times when one of those isn't working for them.
When you go back to your offices to take care of Raha and myself, all right, have a good game. I can remember writing a check for groceries, knowing that I didn't have enough money in my checking account. More and more, I was just disgusted. How dare this system treat public defenders like this? We matter this much that after I get paid once a month, I have $20 left to my name. I am still in Jackson. I'm still doing, in my mind, public defender work. I still get court-appointed cases. I'm still representing indigent clients. So, though I'm not in a full-time public defender capacity, I will forever be a public defender. And it's an honor.
Okay. So what we finna get into, we finna now getting to this document. No, those was with the clips.
Oh,
None
man.
okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now this is. Okay, this is prisoners in America. They cannot deny that they are trading prisoners like cattle. Enter any prisoner's case number within the specified entry boxes located at Fidelity Investments Online Securities. Look up index query. Can't really pronounce that word. And locate that prisoner's bond and find out where they are being traded. Example: enter a court case number such as 05CR272. For example, enter the search value box and you will get a SIPS number. Hold on. Is that on that first page? All crimes are. Okay, Salaki, I'm gonna just jump to the basis of it. Okay. Now you see they got the all CNI right there. It says all crimes are commercial and have a commercial value to them. It makes you look at improvements to the freeways, cities, and towns in a different light, especially when those improvements are founded by municipal bonds. You'll also understand why there is no hurry to end the war in Iraq. All criminal prosecutions is for the purpose for raising revenue for the United States. Now you will have a better understanding of why people are in jail, why they are in prison, why they are on probation, and why they are charged with everything from jaywalking on up through murder 1. An American soldier who dies in Afghanistan and Iraq probably carries a $10 million life insurance on him, carried by our government after all. Every soldier, Marine, or Air Force person is an asset to the United States. They have a huge investment in the particular soldier and his activity, and can explain why it is that the U.S. is not so anxious to withdraw its troops from that area. It's a money-making activity, and they don't want to talk about the fact that they are making money on death and that they are making money from the incarceration and imprisonment of many others good-hearted people who have not necessarily committed otherwise serious crimes. They have a rule called the 144 holder. The rule is that they can't sell private investment securities that are not registered. The rule prohibits them from selling the prison bonds. They have to wait 6 months before they can sell a certain quantity of private securities without being registered. And they just breaking down how they sell the men and women who's in jail through the stock market. Okay, it says they have to wait 6 months before they can sell a certain quantity of private securities without being registered, selling them as private securities. Basically, there are 8 people on the board of directors of CCA, which is Corrections Corporate of America, Joseph E. Russell, the top holder, and John M. Ferguson. Russell owns 64,000 shares of CCA stock, which is worth about $70 million. Ferguson owns 3,400 shares, valued at about $37 million. Fidelity Management and Research is the top stockholder, the top investment firm that is selling the bonds as investment securities. One second. They pull them and sell them as mortgage pack. Now we all know that the word mortgage goes from the word mort, meaning a morgue, meaning debt. So these people basically are debt to them or cattle. Security also, when they pull them, they sell them as mutual funds on the stock market. By pulling, we mean the securities on the inmates. Right. Basically, you got a number. So
yeah, like my number 324942.
Yep. So you got that number,
I
and
know that before I knew my social security.
Yep. So you got that number, and that number holds on you wherever you go, and that number is basically your stock, your bank account number, your stock number. That's why they give the guys in prison a number.
Yeah, because my PO, she pulled that up, and when she typed that in, everything I ever owe, anything that got to do with the system, whether it was a lawyer, whether it was the court, whether it was the prison, whether it was a victim on my case, it comes right up.
Yep.
Right up.
What they are doing is they are actually taking the mortgage-backed securities, which the people, which are really bid bonds, performance bonds, and payment bonds. They pull these bonds, and when they pull them together, they call them mortgage-backed securities. They take these to TBA, which is the Bond Market Association. It's an actual market for bonds. Anytime a bond is issued, there has to be an underwriter. The bonds have to be underwritten. Bonds that are issued have to be indemnified. Can't pronounce that word. Yeah.
Yeah, you said.
So there has to be surety to indemnify the bonds. If you're gonna look up that word, the brokerage houses and the insurance companies indemnify the bonds. They're called surety companies. Okay.
Skip down to right here. Correction Corporation.
That's right here. Correction Corporation.
Yeah.
So go all the way to they. Okay. So like in 1 second. They privatize.
Yeah. They are put on the market and resold to the public.
Yeah. Okay. Right here and then? Okay. Starting from here. So we're gonna jump down. Then they are put out on the market and resold to the public. And in other words, the banks are buying up all the shares. And the international bankers.
Elites. Yep. See, that's who really funding this. See, that's why it's being underwritten. Because when you underwrite something, somebody got to fund it.
Right, somebody got to
Who funding it? The international bankers who really got us enslaved.
Yep.
This is your prison camp.
Yep. And they resell them as investment securities. Right. So they basically
put the money up.
They put the money up for them. Right.
Because they can take a loss.
Yeah, exactly. They can take a $1 million, a $1 million,
trillion loss.
Yeah.
They make the money.
So you guys in jail, and not even just y'all, everybody, you an investment to these elites.
Right.
Okay, that's why you pay taxes. That's why you get a license. That's why basically you're owned as a corporation. They basically, the people are labeled as corporate businesses.
Right. And those of y'all who go to prison, the reason why they don't try to let y'all out of prison and give y'all an early release is because you are secure stock bond on the stock market.
Yep.
And you're being funded by the international bankers, which are the Edomites, who actually run the Federal Reserve Bank that print you your money.
Yep.
So they don't take losses.
Nope.
The money is fake.
It says, in other words, the banks are buying up all the shares and then they resell them as investment securities to the public, which is the stock market. The public then buys them as mutual funds, or they can buy them as debt and instruments. equity equity instruments. Yep. What they are really doing is they are buying up debt instruments. They are using the physical accounting cycle of accrual, and they sell the prisoners capital and interest, as it is called, the accrual accounting. They resell these to the public because the prisoners did not do full investment and closure on the account.
Start the fourth edition. It's past the seventh.
Okay. It says the Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition says a statute is a bond or obligation of record. That's what all the criminal statutes are. Bonds or obligations of record. Go in and read the definition of a recognizance bond, and you find that it is a bond or obligation of record. They are selling bonds. They are charging prisoners under a bond. The prisoner signs the bond, and the bond becomes the agreement for the paybacks. See that? That's why you're only supposed to be signing these oaths, which we spoke about earlier. This is done when the prisoners sign the final court papers at a settlement, at a sentencing hearing.
Right, because that's what I went through. When anybody gets sentenced and go to prison or anything, they take you in the back and they got a yellow piece of paper with a white piece of paper with another piece of paper. Well, when you sign, you get a copy, the lawyer get a copy, and why they don't tell you where the third copy go. And I actually remembered that. And when you sign that, not only is you signing and giving recommendation that, yeah, I signed myself over to prison, so you are that bond. That's why you sign your name.
Right.
But you actually waive your constitutional right as an appeal.
Yeah. Damn.
Because I tried to come back on the appeal, and they reminded me and denied my appeal. The Army paid for me to go get an appeal. They denied my appeal, saying you signed your constitution and waived your rights. No appeal.
See, that's the trickery of the devil. Yeah. That's why we say this is set up systematically against Jake. And once again, you ain't supposed to sign no oaths with these devils.
Now we need to get the public doesn't directly bid on prison debt.
That's the beginning of the paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay, so cuts. The public, here we go.
Yeah, right there. Just that paragraph.
Okay.
Jump through it.
It says, the public doesn't directly bid on the prisoner's debt.
Right.
Your debt is assumed by the bankers.
See, the bankers funding it.
The bankers fund it. The bankers issue secondary paper that allows me to invest in what they are holding as the holder in due course of the claim against your strawman.
See, you're a strawman.
You're right. You are a legal property now. The reason they are doing this is because you dishonored the post-settlement procedure for settlement and closure of the account. The prisoner should have come in and accepted and used his exemption, since the prisoner dishonored the post-settlement proceedings. Then the prisoner is in dishonor, and the insurance of the bonds by the finance system was done in order to pass the punishment on him because of his inability to fulfill his post-settlement objectives.
Okay, we can go down to
it's all done?
Yeah.
Through bonds?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all done through bonds. Bonding. That's what all these municipal bonds are. What they doing is following everything through the prison system. The prison system is being privatized through privatization. Private enterprise can fund the prison systems cheaper.
And that's what started popping up all over the place.
Exactly. Private prisons. And this is what this guy was talking about in the secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation.
Right.
He talked about...
Because in the in 2000, here in Wisconsin, I was incarcerated, and they had private prisons going on so big that they was taking there was so many prisoners being locked up in Wisconsin that they was selling us to other states.
Yep. Right. So basically, like I said, you a cattle. You're basically a piece of meat, a slave, servant,
And
whatever you want to call it.
People was going out of state for 3 years. And everybody who went out of state, you had to have more than 3 years worth of time because you was going to do 3 years out of state. Everybody was ordered that they have to do 3 years out of state and they'll bring you back. But you have to serve 3 years.
Damn. See that? That's why the Lord got to come back and destroy this place, because basically you selling the people. That's right. That's selling the people.
Right. I got a scripture. It's Exodus 21:16. Yeah. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him.
See, that's what they doing. The bankers, the international bankers. So y'all guilty.
A long time ago.
Right.
Now they still selling us.
And you still being sold. You being not physically sold.
No, you was being physically
sold. Well, yeah, physically sold. Prison to prison. That's
because they told me, for instance, I was sentenced to 13 years. I was told that I have to serve 3 years either in 2 prisons in Texas or Oklahoma. Take my pick. That's what I had to pick, Oklahoma or Texas. And he that stealeth a man, which they stole my ancestors, and that's why I'm here today.
And they stealing us.
And selleth him, and they sold me basically.
Yep, they did.
Or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
Right, see, and we still, that word hand is from the Hebrew word Yah, which means under his power. We still under the power of the so-called white man in this establishment. Why? Because we are labeled as so-called strawmen. We still under them. We got a birth certificate that makes us, under them. We in their hand. Okay, it says, it's all done through bonding. That's what all these municipal bonds are. What they doing is following everything through the prison system.
Right.
The prison system is being privatized. Through privatization, private enterprise can fund the prison systems cheaper than the government can. They are subsidizing everything through privatization. Yeah, I can't say that word. You see? And all that private meaning hidden agenda. That's why they say everything this private this, private that.
Okay. Everyone is tied in.
Okay.
Yeah. Get everybody.
There we go.
That's that.
It says everyone is tied in. Payne Weber Group is the United States and all the big international corporations.
See, even overseas.
Yep.
It's tied into that's why all nations still have a hand in keeping our people in slavery, even to this day, right now, current today.
Yep. That's Psalms 83. Everybody came against Israel. Okay. When they took the name from us, okay, but now they still pumping on us in one collective manner.
Yeah. Now they just doing it in a deceitful way.
Yep.
But it ain't even deceitful no more because we know about it.
You see, as the United States and all the big international corporations are the stockholders and own all the stock in CCA. See that? That's why it was a big thing when the market had crashed. Okay, because everybody lost their investments. Everybody money was lost. Okay. Everyone is using our exemptions on the private side. They find one.
Yeah, because when it's private, it means exactly what it says. You don't have to release who the shareholders is.
Yep.
You don't have to release who the owners are. You don't have to release who really own these places and how they tie it together or any of that. That's why they got it privatized.
Yep.
Because it used to be public information.
Yep. It says, oh, excuse me.
We almost done.
Everyone is using our exemptions on the private side. They filed a 1096 tax return and show it as a prepaid account. Prepaid.
It's already paid, so they don't have to release all this information on who they own, and they don't have to get no audit. Because why is you auditing something when everything is paid for?
Exactly. It says, as prepaid interest, and they returned it back to the prisoner. They took the prisoner's deduction for the exemption and they deduct the tax and the IRS bills See? Let me read that again. It says, and they deducted tax and the IRS bills the prisoners for the tax. So the corporations are stealing your exemptions, which is your intellectual property. What's wrong with this? They are not telling us what they are doing. It's all commercial. When you go into the courtroom, everything is commercial, right? Commercial meaning income, outcome, stocks, and bonds. That's basically what the commercial is. Commercial of what? Selling this and selling that. That's basically selling other people. Okay? And that's what the scripture in Revelation said, that they even basically have the souls of men. Okay?
You want me to get that?
Yeah. I think that's 18.
Yeah.
Revelation 18.
I got it right here too. You right on point.
Oh, that's okay, right. See, I didn't even know you had it right there.
This Revelation 18 and 13. It says, and cinnamon and odors and ornaments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men.
Right, and slaves and souls of men, which this devil still have. He has the souls of the men, which is what Willie's talking about, the Israelite men. Okay, they still got us under their captivity till this day. Ain't nothing changed. And what helped that is through the Emancipation Proclamation. Okay,
Meaning to transfer us
from
one
ownership,
slave master to the corporate slave.
and that's what this privatized prisons is about. Is the corporate
doing that same thing,
doing the same thing in the corporate business.
Yeah,
you see that? But all this got to come out through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai to basically to show, the works of the devil.
Yeah, and I got another scripture for that. Let me go to all companies. It's Revelation 18 and 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea. Meaning America. Or the people. Saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and the pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman, whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thou merchants were the great men of the earth. For by the sorcery were all nations deceived. And in her was found the bloods of the prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. This is the atrocities and the wickedness of this country that y'all call America, that us Israelite brothers can't wait to be destroyed. Because we bring out the truth of how y'all still have our people in slavery even to this current date. What, 2013? What, September?
Yep. All corporations work on fiscal accounting.
Because it's finna say why.
Okay, this is all corporations work on a fiscal accounting year, which means that they spend debt. They can't get rid of the debt and balance the books unless they run it through our accounts on the private side.
And who is our? The international bankers. That's who are. Go ahead.
We the people run on a calendar year.
See that? We the people, they running us on a whole nother cycle.
Like annually.
Right,
annually. Yearly.
Okay.
We the people run on a calendar year, and the corporation run on a physical year. See that? Right. The only way that they can balance their books is to run it through our accounts using exemptions. Then they can do their reverse bookkeeping entry and go to post-settlement and closure. They can't do that until the prisoners do the acceptance. If they do it. that what they are looking for in the courtroom under UCC,
Yeah, UCC.
yeah, UCC,
Code Creditor.
yeah,
Unified Code Creditor.
yeah, Unified Code Creditor. 3-410 is the acceptor. That means we are assuming the liability for the debt as the principal. A lot of times with debt, the principal is always the primary libelant in the commercial setting. He has to assume the liability, and then you get your remedy. Otherwise, you don't get a remedy.
Right. So the point is that they running the times and what they teaching us in school. Even you so-called business economic people in school, y'all whole system is being ran off a different calendar than the Jews. And this them right here is Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Yep.
They did it through the prisons, through the gangs, through the drugs, through the churches.
Yep.
To wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws.
Yep, and that's exactly what they doing. The scriptures are self-explanatory. You really got to expound.
Yeah. And they shall be given into his hand until a time, and a dividing in time. But the judgment shall set, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it until the end. So that's the white man and so forth, and that's how he doing everything. It's right there in the Bible.
Okay.
You just gotta, be of the elect or be
to discern it. Yep.
We almost done. Right here, what they do is they sell the note. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, okay. It says, what they do is they sell the notes just as they do when you go into prison. They endorse the note and they no longer the holder of the notes. The mortgage company wasn't involved in this process. The attorneys are doing all this.
See that? You're an attorney.
Yep.
So that's why for you to be an attorney, you got to go up under the Bar Association and swear on the oath that you will uphold the Bar Association and all the principles and guidelines that goes with it. Now, when you take it to another level, the lawyers are the esquire from the Queen of England to take the debt and to bring the debt and the money back to England because America is a corporation.
Okay. The attorneys are doing all this. What they are doing is coming to the private side to get the debt without any permission from the mortgage company. In this case, they quoted from the UCC, and it's from Lex Maracturia. I can't pronounce that. The law of the merchant. Okay, right, that's in Latin.
Yeah.
The law of the merchant.
Do that last. We're gonna finish.
Admiralty.
Yeah, because it's gonna show you how this is the matrix.
Okay. It says admiralty is all debt and it's all civil. It's because it becomes criminal when the prisoner gets a contempt charge when he refuses to pay. They can keep you in jail until you pay the debt. The initial get out of jail bond release you until you've successfully paid the debt. Warden comes from admiralty, warden of the sea. The warden is the warehouse man who was warehousing all the goods. He's the bailey. The committee order is your bailment, your contract for the committee of the goods. Then they put the goods in the warehouse and store them there. Prisoners stored in prisons just like the people stored in the pods in the movie The Matrix.
Yeah, let's forget that.
Yep.
Just go down to it sounds complicated,
Okay.
and then we're just gonna read it to the end.
Okay. It sounds complicated. Right, and going back to what he said, go up real quick. He said, how do you say it? The warden of the sea. The sea is the people.
Yeah.
Because they come in just like when you come in on the ships that load of ships of the people, just like when we came over here on slavery. It was what it was, that slave trade was back then. That's why the sea plays a big part spiritually.
Yeah, maritime law.
Right.
That's what it's called, maritime law.
Maritime law. Yep.
That's what it's called, because you had to have a dock.
Yep.
So today, because you'll say, oh, that was a long time ago. That was slavery. We talking about today. Well, let's talk about today. You come down your mother canal, the water canal.
Yep.
And you have to have a dock.
Yep.
and
a landing place.
Right. A dock gotta have what? A certificate.
Yep.
Because it gotta prove what's on the dock, and
yep.
that's you.
Exactly. So that number you get.
Yeah. So your mom signed you over to.
Yep.
That's why you blacks are being targeted to go to prison.
Yep. Yep.
Finish you off. I'll read this. No, just finish that.
Okay. I got it. I put it up here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I already put it up. Okay. It says, it sounds complicated, and you weren't told a thing about it in school, public school at least. Is it public school?
Yeah.
Right, because all the high elites, they go to those private schools and they get this information from a childhood on up, because they got to know how to run the system.
All right. 90% of the public schools are for those slaves. That's who it's for. That's who it pump out. It don't teach you how to think or research or process.
Nope.
The elders of GMS have to do that.
That's right. But we did tell you it was a deception. Remember, if you don't realize that you are owned by the state, then consider this. Whenever you go to a car dealer and buy a new car, the deed from the manufacturer of the car is sent by the car dealer to the Secretary of State of the state in which you live.
Mm-hmm.
It's recorded and then destroyed. You in turn are given a title of certificate by your state, which says that you have a legal right to possess and use this car, which is now owned by the state who received its deed. Your ownership of the car is an illusion. The reality is the state owns your car.
That's why you got to get a license plate and a driver's license.
That's why you got to get a license plate, driver's license.
You got to get permission to drive on their road.
All right, because this is they land. So you got to have certain. Basically, a license is a privilege in America. Whatever license you get is basically a privilege. Okay, because you're still a servant. So you're getting these extra privileges by doing extra things like getting your certificates or getting a degree or something like that. So you get that privilege.
Everybody got to get a piece of it.
Right.
So DMV wants you to get a sticker on your car.
Yep.
Because they want a piece. Then the state wants you to get a driver's license.
Yep.
Because they want a piece. And then when you buy the car from the dealer, you got to buy dealer plates and so forth. So they want a piece. Yep. Everybody get a piece.
Everybody get a piece of that action. But yeah, this is last document we got for you brothers. Okay, it may seem long and probably even boring, but this is a lot of good information. And no matter how long it takes, you got to bring out the information.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
You want to know the truth?
Right. It says the NAACP. And you can www.naacp.org. Okay. Criminal justice fact sheet.
Yeah. Incarceration trends in America. From 1980 to 2000, the number of people incarcerated in America quadrupled from roughly 500,000 to 2.3 million people. Sound like business going good.
Yeah.
Today, the U.S. is 5% of the world population and has 25% of the world prisoners.
Yeah.
Corporate America. Combining the numbers of people in prison and jail with those under parole or probation supervision, 1 in every 31 adults, or 3.2% of the population, is under some form of correctional control. Racial disparities in incarceration. African Americans now, what's that? Constitute nearly 1 million of the total 2.3 million incarceration population. African Americans are incarcerated at nearly 6 times the rate of whites. Together, African Americans and Hispanics comprise 58% of all prisoners in 2008, even though African Americans and Hispanics make up approximately 1/4 of the U.S. population.
Damn.
According to Unlocking America, if African Americans and Hispanics were incarcerated at the same rate of whites, today prison and jail population would decline by approximately 50%. 1 in 6 black men has been incarcerated as of 2001. And current trends continue. 1 in 3 black males born today can expect to spend time in prison during his lifetime. 1 in 100 African American women are in prison. Nationwide, African Americans represent 26% of juvenile arrests, 44% of youth who are detained. That's almost there.
Hell yeah.
46% of the youth who are, what's that? Judiciously waived to criminal court like I was. And 58% of the youth admitted to state prisons, central or juvenile and criminal justice. Because that's how they did me. They said I was 6 months from being 17 years old, so they waived me to adult court.
Damn.
That's what it'd be on, so I have an adult record. Because I never had a juvenile record or anything, so they wanted to get something on it.
Yeah, wanted to get something
on my adult record. Drug sentence disparities. About 14 million whites and 2.6 million African Americans report using an illicit drug. 5 times as many whites are using drugs as African Americans. Hear that? 5 times more. Yet African Americans are sent to prison for a drug offense at 10 times the rate of whites.
Right.
So we use it less, but we get sent the most. African Americans represent 12% of total population drug use, but 38% of those arrested for a drug offense, and 58% of those in state prison for a drug offense. African Americans serve virtually as much time in prison for a drug offense, 58.7 months, as whites do for a violent offense, 61.7% sentencing project. So whites got to do something violent for them to go to prison. All we got to do is get caught with drugs, basically. Inner city crimes promoted by social and economic isolation. That's why we're doing them. Crimes and drugs arrest rate. African American represent 12% of monthly drugs use, but comprise 38% of persons arrested for drug possession. Get tough on crime and war on drugs policies. When we kept talking about that. Mandatory minimum sentences. That's what we forgot. Especially disparities in sentencing for crack and powder cocaine possession. Right, because you can get caught with 3.5 grams to get you 10 years, but you will have to get caught with damn near 60 to 70 grams to get 10 years. Yeah. So that's about 3 ounces to my 1 8-ball. $3,000 street value, $6,000 to my street value, $300. In 2002, and when I went to court for my case, and I actually got caught with that, why was a white guy in front of me who was getting sentenced by Schroeder, who got caught and sold 3 ounces to an undercover agent, and he got 15 years, 5 years supervision with a 10 years withheld sentence. I got caught with 4 bags, and I was facing 0 to 10, 5 years. 5 years supervisions with a 5 years withheld sentence. That was crazy. In 2002, black constitute more than 80% of the people sentenced under the federal crack cocaine law and serve substantially more time in prison for a drug offense than did whites, despite the fact that more than 2/3 of crack cocaine users in the U.S. are white or Hispanic. See, I would have never thought that, because they always, you blacks, crackheads and all that. 3 strikes, habitual offender policies, 0 tolerance policies as a result of perceiving problems of school violence. What's that? Advise. It's right after school violence.
I'm trying. Adverse. Yeah. Adverse effect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. Adverse effect.
Adverse effect on black children. 35% of black children grades 7th to 12th grade have been suspended or expelled at some point in their school career compared to 20% of Hispanics and 15% of whites. So they making sure they kick us out of school to push us into them type of life. Effects of incarceration. Jail reduced work time of young people over the next decade by 20 to 30% when compared with arrest youth who were not incarcerated. Jail and prisons are recognized as sitting where society, infection, disease are highly concentrated. Yeah, in the black neighborhood.
Right. All in Jack neighborhood.
Prison has not been proven as a rehabilitation or behavior, as 2/3 of prisoners will reoffend.
See?
What's that?
Because they make them go in those prisons and basically have a whole new life in there.
Right.
So that's why I said it ain't a rehabilitation for behavior.
No, it's to go in there and to learn more wickedness, by to be exposed to more criminals and thinking of more devious things to do, and give you the ideas for when they get out. How I know? Because they was all around me telling me, Jay, you could have did this. Jay, you could have did that. What's that?
Prisons has not been proven. Oh, you were just like it. Extra. You talking about the cost of
exhibition cost of incarceration. Is it worth it? About $70 billion are spent on correction yearly. Prisons and jails consume a growing portion of the nearly $200 billion we spend annually on public safety. So no, it's not worth it, but it is worth it because to you, Jakes, this is y'all prison house. So these are the criminal justice fact sheets to break a lot of those stereotypes.
No, yeah, exorbitant.
Right, exorbitant cost of incarceration. Is it worth it? So no, it's a proven fact that it's not worth it. But for the elites to keep their foot on your neck because of Jacob supplanted their forefather Esau, is more than worth it.
Yes,
to them. And the money's fake anyway, so joke ain't on that.
Yep. That's it on that document. Well, okay, brothers and sisters, that's basically it on the document.
Right, a breakdown of the prison systems, the rap, the probation, and how it's being funded, how it came into play, how it's redirecting and directly affecting our people as a whole, and what's the meaning behind this, and why is it here, and why none of our leaders are saying anything about this incarceration thing that's been going on for decades now. So we made sure we did it because Jesse Jackson and them already got their money. They pay off.
So with that, we say all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai, double honors to the elders of GMS, and peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corner ends of the earth who's doing the work, truth, sincerity, and fear.